Hey, what's up, y'all? It's Poppin' His D. About to react to this vid. This is Andrew Tate's final message. This video is an hour and 13 minutes long. Someone requested this and said, hey, just watch 10 minutes of this video. And I said, I got you. I'm gonna watch 10 minutes because I'm not watching an hour of this shit. But sure, we're gonna see what he has to say after he got banned. He got banned, and he's gonna speak on it, I'm assuming, for an hour and 13 minutes. Also, somebody else sent me they sent me a TikTok of me speaking on Andrew Tate, and it had like 100,000 views, and people was like in the comments like, yeah, she gets it, and she knows. And I'm like, oh Lord, like, I'm not trying to like pull in his audience at all. Like, I'm not trying to stand behind none of this nigga is talking about. Let's be fucking clear. All right, I'm not saying that I stand by or agree with anything that comes out of this man's mouth. I'm just saying that people should not be offended by the opinions of others. It does not affect you or your life. That is my stance. But just from looking at a few of the comments, I gathered that people felt like I was on his side and defending him. And I'm like, I'm not on nobody's fucking side. I'm not on this nigga's side at all. Y'all got fucked up. Anyway, sure, let's see what his final message is, though. Let's watch.
I was thinking for a long time how to start this video because it needs to be concise.
And the person who said watch 10 minutes, you didn't specify which 10 minutes, so I'm gonna just go with the first 10. So if this ain't what you wanted, then you should have been clear.
And compendious, but I also want it to be very, very comprehensive. And I guess the best place to start is at the beginning. There's been many different versions of my life story which have been put on the internet as of late and from many years ago. But I'm going to give a very, very quick overview of my story. My life has always been difficult. I've certainly had a difficult life. I preach to the people who follow me.
But people have DM'd me, and y'all stay DMing me about these people that I react to. I'm like, okay. But people have DM'd me and told me that he was beating people or beating some chick or whatever, and then other people were like, oh yes, he was caught on camera doing that, but it was role play. It was role play, and she wanted it, which that sounds wild. But they said that look, I don't fucking know. I can go based I can only go based on what y'all tell me. I'm not laughing at domestic violence, by the way, but y'all are claiming that it's not domestic violence and that she was into it, and they had this, I don't know, BDSM, dominant, submissive fucking thing going on, and it got recorded and leaked somehow. I don't know. I ain't never seen the video. I don't care to see it. Don't send it to me. This is not my business. But yeah, that's a part of why people don't like him, I'm assuming.
That as a man, trauma and difficulty is extremely important because it's the building blocks for mental fortitude and physical fortitude. So I'm very, very happy that my life has been difficult because it's impossible to become a capable man or a man of my capability without struggling with facing serious adversities, without trying to overcome often insurmountable odds. I grew up in South Side of Chicago.
Oh.
I'm obviously a person of color. I was bullied in school to a degree. And my father always taught me to stick up for myself.
Oh, his daddy is
I was
black.
never allowed to run and cry to authority.
Huh. Genetics are funny. I would have never guessed.
Mess with you or come at you, you can't always go tell the teacher. Sometimes you have to deal with it. I was actually picked on by these two kids when I was riding the school bus home. I think I was around 5 and they were around 7. They were a bit older than me, and they used to pick on me on the school bus. They'd sit behind me, throw things at me, hit me, etc. And I came home and I told my dad about it. I said, Dad, these two kids are picking on me every single time I get to the school bus. I don't know.
He said, man up, little nigga.
And my dad said, I'm not going to call the teacher because the teacher ain't on the bus. And I'm not going to call the school bus driver because they're busy driving. Son, if you want to deal with this, you're going to have to deal with it yourself. And I said, but Dad, they're bigger than me. What do you want me to do? There's 2 of them and they're bigger than me. And at the time, I'd just come home from school and I was holding a lunchbox. My dad pointed and said, you have a lunchbox, son?
You knocked their ass
Teach
on
him. So weeks
it's
passed.
Giving Black
Daddy. They kept picking on me, and I felt myself sitting there getting more insecure, and the rage was boiling inside of me. And one day, one of them slapped me in the side of the face from behind. I was sitting on the chair. He slapped me in the face from behind. And instantly, I don't know what it was, but this was the day I had enough, and I turned with my lunchbox and swung it over the back of the school bus chair and caught him and busted his eye clean open. Plastic Batman lunchbox. Hit him in the eye and blood started squirting everywhere. All the children started screaming. And as I did this, the bus had just come up to a stop. It was a few stops before my stop, but it had stopped. And as the bus stopped and the screaming happened, I just got up and I just ran off the bus. I ran home. I've never run so fast or so far in my life. I was full of adrenaline. I just ran. When I got home, I had blood on my clothes, and my dad looked at me. He said, "What happened?" And I said, "That kid," I won't say his name. I said his name at the time. I said, "That kid, he hit me in the face, and I had enough of him getting hit in the face." And I was still holding the lunchbox, but it was all smashed up where I'd hit him with it. And my dad kind of smiled a little bit and said, "Don't worry, son. Get in the car." We got in the car and we went to Walmart. We walked up and down the aisle, and he looked and picked up another lunchbox, an exact replica of the same blue Batman lunchbox, gave it to me and said, "I'll buy you as many of these as you need." And that was the last we spoke of it.
The violence.
Funnily enough, I never saw that kid again. I don't know if he changed schools. I don't know what his parents did. But I never saw that child again. So,
period.
Even from a very, very young age, I was taught that going to authority and crying and hoping someone else is going to fix your problems is not the way a man should conduct himself. When I left Chicago, I moved to Luton, England, which was multiple times voted the worst town in England. It's a high crime rate. It's a very bad area. My mother and father broke up, so I was in a single mother household. And now I'm a person of color in a single mother household. I'm also the only American at the time in Luton. And I had, again, repeat problems in school. I was picked on for being the only American. I was picked on for not knowing things I should have known because I hadn't been through the English educational system. I'd been through the American educational system. And I had trouble in school again, but I stuck up for myself. Unfortunately, nothing got violent at any point. When people made fun of me, I stood up and said, "Listen, don't make fun of me. I'm from a different place, and I talk differently." And I always understood that standing up for yourself, I never went to the teacher, I never cried to anybody else. I just stood up for myself. And over time, people learned respect for me and my boundaries, and they were very respectful of me. And I had a very positive experience from then on out in school by simply standing up for myself, because this is how I was taught to act. In high school, I ended up having a reputation of a guy that nobody really messed with. I certainly wasn't a bully. Absolutely the opposite. No one really picked on me. I actually had a friend in school who was gay. I had 5 main friends in school, and I was also friends with a gay guy. And he would make fun of me for being American, and I would make fun of him for being gay back then. But the world was a very, very different place. This is many, many years ago. And we had friendly banter back and forth, but we were very good friends, and I stuck up for him and prevented anyone else picking on him all of the time. And the banter between us, the locker room talk, which would be considered absolutely unacceptable today, at the time was very, very normal. And we had a great time. We were good friends. And I heard from him, actually, after this ban. And he said, "You should mention the fact that the things they say about you completely aren't true." And this leads me on to the reason I believe these narratives have managed to gain such a foothold in popular consciousness. Due to the fact I've managed to develop an iron mind, because I'm probably the only individual on earth who can be vilified to this level without taking personal insult and without being emotionally affected, what I've done is I've allowed certain narratives to gain traction, which I shouldn't have allowed to gain traction, because they didn't personally bother me, because I know they are false. I live with a very, very pure heart. I'm a religious man.
No, he didn't dispute them.
I go to church, and anyone who follows me in detail knows I donate huge sums of money to the church. And as long as
if he didn't defend himself, how y'all knew the truth then?
God knew the truth of my heart, I wasn't interested in lies being purported. I now understand that that's wrong, because even though I've done nothing wrong,
I would have never gathered that he was Christian, though. That's
even though God and myself,
based on the things I've heard him say,
the public consciousness has been polluted.
Oh wait, did he say Christian, or did he just say God?
Narratives are being purported,
He might have just said God.
Absolutely, contrary is false, and it's having a genuine negative impact on the people who I care about and the people who care about me. And despite the fact it doesn't emotionally affect me, as a man, I have a duty to protect all of those I love. And for this reason, these narratives have started to become very, very harmful. I was on the understanding that on the internet, people don't like you. It doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter what you say. There's going to be some people who don't like you, and the people who don't like you are not interested in the truth. What they're interested in is finding some lie that they can latch
to support their
onto
narrative
and accelerating that lie on as much as possible via their platforms to try and paint a negative picture of you because they don't like you. A lot of these attacks against me are disguised under the virtue of caring about women. But none of these people who are attacking me care about women. None of them donate to women's charities. None of them donate to charity like I do. None of them help anybody like I do. I'm about to show, later on in this video, proof of the massive work I do for helping people. They don't help anybody. All they do is just attack me and use fake virtue, the fact they pretend to care, as a reason to attack somebody who they personally don't like. And it's very, very different to actually care about an issue or weaponize an issue and pretend to care to try and damage someone else's life. These are very, very different things. And this is the reason why I have not tried to dispel these myths as hard as I could have, because I understood that these people are always going to hate me and they're always going to lie about me, no matter what I say or do. But considering in light of the final ban, and considering I have the public consciousness, I think it's extremely important that for myself and for my family and for people I care about, that I tell the truth and I make the truth known to the world, because that is the only intention in my video, is to sit and tell the truth. And the fact that I'm a very, very iron-minded individual who is not negatively affected by these smear campaigns is not reason enough for me not to sit, take time, and dispel all the negative things which are said about me.
Alright, I'm gonna stop the video right there. I don't know much about this man at all. I can only go based on the few things you guys have told me about him. But I don't think that he should be censored or have his content removed or be banned just because his opinions are different than most. Like, if you don't like what the fuck he's saying, then move along. You don't have to watch him. It's just so odd to go to these extreme lengths to report him and fight to have his shit removed and taken down just because you don't agree. Like, the censorship that takes place on these platforms is getting out of hand. I feel like as long as someone is not practicing hate speech, like, you should be free to say what you like. Okay, some people gonna fuck with it, some people are not. I actually like hearing people's opinions that are different than mine. I feel like it helps you grow as a person. It expands your mind. I want to think outside the box. Okay, why do you think that? That's interesting. Even if I don't agree, it's like, all right, I want to hear your reasoning behind it. But to be so limited and only want to watch people and listen to people who think exactly like you, how are you ever going to grow? Like, you're going to be stuck in this fucking box of only knowing what you know right now. Like, that's depressing, and you're not going to evolve as a person. I don't get that at all. But yes, as far as him, like, abusing people, I can't, like I said, I can't speak on that. I ain't seen the video. I don't know the details of that. I'm not going to act like I know, so we're going to leave that where it's at. But I'm assuming he's been banned based on the things that he's been saying recently online about women and, you know, how he lives his life and his beliefs and shit. I'm assuming. And if it's based on that, I think that is ridiculous. I don't agree with that. But yeah, this was an interesting video, hearing how he, you know, stopped the little nigga with the lunchbox and whatnot. I was also raised in a similar fashion. Nobody ever fucked with me, though. They just haven't. Yeah. I guess I was just fortunate in that sense. I don't know why either, because I lived in very, very tough, rough neighborhoods, but people, well, I do know why. There's a few reasons why. I didn't get into that. But yeah, it seems to have toughened him up and made him into the person that he is. And, you know, it is what it is. But yeah, I guess Baldy is gone. He's not... He's not online anymore, so I guess we're not gonna really be getting any requests about him anymore. So, you know, it was interesting while it lasted, but, you know, sure. Good luck, my brother. Y'all let me know what y'all thought, though. Let me know what other videos you want me to watch, and I'll see y'all in the next time. Bye.